We're ready to start talking about
okay.
Jadefire Masters.
Jadefire Masters. Which, like, coolest fight ever, basically.
Yeah, I mean, you guys might know more about this than I'd have. All I've listened to is just Alex and Law's rant about it. So I know a little less about this one specifically.
Yeah, sure. I've been doing quite a bit of research. I can take the lead on it.
Yeah, go for it, Slew.
Basically, there's a monk and a mage, and they're each gonna have their own abilities. Just before anything happens ever, we need to always make sure that we are. Let me make sure I don't fuck this up because it's gonna be. We need to make sure we're always DPSing the monk as our main.
Yes.
Because if the mage is ever lower than the monk will get. So we'll need to like cleave off of the monk as our targeting. That's just like the general thing throughout the entire fight. Occasionally, go ahead.
Well, the caster is attuned to the life force of their ally. As their health of their ally gets lower than that of the caster will become more powerful.
Yeah. So the monk is this harmonious person. And
yeah, harmonious spirits.
Below her, then yeah, she'll get super OP. So we need to always cleave off of the monk.
Basically, melee stay on the monk the entire time. Just follow her around.
Which they should anyways for the next ability, which is the Whirling Jade Storm. Mara, in our case, is gonna peace out like 30 yards away and start spinning like a crazy person and sending out a shit. It's actually quite a bit of. I was watching Mythic Gods, but on Mythic at least, it was quite a bit of damage. And she won't stop until somebody engages her in melee. This is where like our warriors, our rogues, demon hunters, anybody can get over there really fucking fast and start hitting them again. Sure, yeah. Or I don't know if hunter pets, because like you can dire beast or whatever it is, where they just like shoot across the fucking map at them. I don't know if that's a thing. It just says
I would assume no. On the
I would too, but
it's probably going to be in players.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on. People kept asking me the day, are you going to play Havoc or are you going to play Enhancement for all these bosses? And I don't know, but like we have plenty of melee. They're going to be whatever works basically.
Well, even,
because you're going to play an elemental shaman.
Oh yeah, we don't. We just got to talk about elemental shaman for like 20 minutes on stream. So
they're pretty good. They're pretty good.
But yeah, so we're gonna have to have somebody over there right away, which is made more confusing by a mage ability, which will, but this person could leap into some fire, which will be interesting.
Let's just go over what each one does.
Yeah, I'm going through the monk. And then multi-sided strike is a pretty cool thing that happens for the tanks, where she'll do this multi-sided strike, and you get to play a mini game as the tank and as on heroic the entire raid sub 20%, and on mythic the entire raid the entire time. You play a mini game where you're teleported like 60 yards up in the air, and there's like these little chi guys, like if a monk was Storm with Fire, and they like come rushing at you, and in a certain order, like Simon says or whatever. And then
like Simon says.
Yeah, and then you have to face them, or you take a shit ton of damage. So you basically just have to face your camera around, which is it's pretty cool.
It's cool.
For the tanks, when they come down, they have a debuff that makes them take extra physical damage. So that's basically the taunt swap, because the mage does 0 physical damage. So when the tank comes down from this mini game, they'll tank swap, and this tank who just went multi-sided strike will then go tank the mage. A note on this is on 2 of the videos I was watching, I guess actually just one, they had the raid leader calling the color because it's color coded. So I think it's standardized for the entire raid. It's not like an individual mini game. Like the whole raid has to look at the same.
See, I thought it was an individual one. Basically,
no,
it's 2 flashes, isn't it?
Well, it's the first one who basically spawns. Is what I thought it was.
Well, on Mythic, the entire team was up, and they had on one of the vids I have linked. They had the raid leader just going red, blue, green, red. Blue. So that implies that unless he's just fucking quelling comms for no reason or something.
That's at the 2936 vid, right?
Yeah, that's at that vid. That's their best pull. They have other pulls where this happens. But yeah, that's their best pull. Is what they want there.
I'm gonna go there.
It just says 4 strikes occur, but if it's synced, that's interesting or not, but that would be a weird mechanic that was syncing every person in the raid to see the exact same ones that could be called out.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's a lot of processes though, if you think about it.
They may be on different circles for each person.
Now, where in relation to the player, what kind of movement are we talking about here? It's just holding right mouse button and just face them, right?
Yeah, it's just literally about face and stuff.
Yeah,
how much time does the effect last?
It's on Mythic at least. I'm sure it's faster on Mythic. It took like 6.5 to 7 seconds to do the whole thing. It's pretty quick on Mythic.
Right.
I haven't seen a heroic. Maybe you did.
I mean, it's like originally the multi-sided strike mechanic right off the bat makes me think of the dance from the Twin Emperors in Mogushan. But that's like a raid-wide, like you see it. This is, everyone kind of gets instanced to this, apparently. You get phased, because we're not going to see everyone else's.
And which makes it really confusing.
You can, yeah.
Oh, really?
And if 20 people up in the air with 4, 5, 6 slots, there's a lot to keep track of.
Fair. Okay.
So
we'll
basically,
the tested debuff, though, that hits us all then?
That's another thing, is I don't think that'd be insane, right? The entire raid taking 100% increased physical damage.
I'm checking. What's the debuff look like?
It's
tested. It's the masochism Shadow Priest face.
It looks blue? Yeah, no, because if you look at that video that you linked there, Salute, that druid who does it has the debuff for 40 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know if
everybody gets that.
I don't know if anyone else takes physical damage, though, and the only physical damage is the multi-sided strike.
Xuen.
Well, interesting segue.
Oh, well, right, into Xuen.
Ability, which is the Spirit of Xuen, where you target, or he pulls out the the Spirit of Xuen.
Oh no, he's all nature.
He's all nature damage. Yeah, it's not even physical.
He's all nature? Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so he's just a fixate, runs around like crazy.
So I think that the tested debuff is mostly to force the tanks to swap.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Again, this is all Mythic.
Right.
Because I only watched the Mythic videos, but they had spirits up basically 100% of the time. And I don't know if they were just doing a shit job of switching, or if that's how it's like they kill one off and the next raid has the next one spawn, but they were kiting and running around from at least 2 almost the entire time. So I don't know if they were doing a terrible job of switching, but that happened.
Okay.
And maybe on heroic it's less, but
now chasing down a random player, how do we deal with the Xuen spirits? Are they attackable, killable, cross-dotable, cleavable, or are they just
slow stun, slow and stunnable?
Sounds like tigers from Kargath Blade Fist then.
Just one, so
it's one at a time, but you can fall behind if you're not like.
It's just one. On that video, there's 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is it?
Well, it spawns one at a time. Oh, do they spawn 2 on Mythic?
I know for sure they had 2 that.
The journal is not going to say that, so yeah.
If you look at that video I posted, there's definitely 2 up. And again, I don't know if they're just not switching like assholes.
So one spawned right away at the very pull. Oh, you know, there's definitely 2 up.
Okay.
No, there's definitely 2
and
spawned.
They were 17 manning it at that point. I think they lost some people for testing. Yeah. So like they don't have the full complement of beeps, but
actually it does say spirits of Xuen, so it makes sense if it's 2 of them.
Yeah, I mean, they just need to die. It's like, ads kill it, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like your normal fixate shit. So warriors with die by the sword and all that stuff. Well, actually, never mind. If it's all nature damage, then
all nature damage, yeah.
Never mind.
You just kill them quickly and like stun them, CC them.
But that's the entirety of the monk, which has some good interplay with the maid. So I'm gonna switch to the heroic thing in Mythic, which is the Magma trap, which is what you have to look out for the Whirling Jade Storm, because the monk is gonna peace out and start doing that. And the Fat Boss guys were saying that they typically jumped right into a Magma trap, which if you get hit by it, it launches you up for lethal damage upon landing. So we can use all the tricks to not die from fall damage. So like every disengage, Paladin Bubble won't actually do anything except for preventing the fall damage. You can't Paladin Bubble and run through them all, but you can Hunter and Cloak of Shadow.
You can turtle through them all?
Can you what?
You can turtle through them all. Like, you can do turtle and then just run straight through.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. For some reason, that was really confusing.
Turtling. I wonder if either boss is close enough to where the traps would be, because then you could charge from the air. Obviously, demon hunters can just glide down. I could feral lunge down. I wonder if you could just hit it and block. But if immunities aren't working, yeah,
you take 100% increase more damage from the next one.
Well, it's saying victim, so just the person that triggers the magma trap. So it's different than the Ragnaros trap, which hit the whole raid. That's the first thing I thought of was heroic rag. You'd obviously only hit one at a time because it debuffs the entire raid. That kind of crap. This is only the person.
It's open world shit here. Like, whatever, if you fall off a cliff questing, whatever you do to not die to fall
of course, yeah,
is applicable here.
Yeah.
So it's like, we have tons, any class. I don't think this is actually an issue. I mean, obviously rogues and hunters are amazing.
Just to keep up with them.
Clear the whole row. But any class can really, except for monk, and I'm sure other classes, can prevent themselves from dying.
Yeah, if we run like 2 rogues and 2 hunters, we should be able to clear them.
This would be a confirmed, like, you know, there's a mega trap here. This is your mega trap. Go grab it, because the magma traps are room oriented to close off space when you're dealing with the cats, which are being kited around a little bit, right? So you don't want to run into a trap while you're also kiting a cat. Okay, sure.
And the melee having to get to the whirling jade storm. If she jumps in a trap, then
exactly,
shit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's gonna be shitty. Searing Embers is just for the healers to dispel ASAP. I did the math on the video we were watching, and again, they spawned several different debuffs. I think they had it's mythic, so it should just be 3. It wouldn't affect by the fact that they had 17 people. So it was 3 debuffs, and there were 4, 6, and 8 second duration. From the video, that might be wrong, but one, they spawn in varying duration, and so if they go off, they blow up and kill.
I mean, that's just Guarum. The healers will have, you guys will have to have, you'll have to have dispel priorities.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't even know if we need to do that, because like,
well, if 2 of you go after the same dispel and one gets it, the other puts their dispel on cooldown and one blows up, then it's 60,000 fire damage.
That doesn't happen for healers.
Yeah, if you try to dispel somebody
okay.
that doesn't have a dispellable effect, you
Okay,
don't
that's fine.
trigger the
It's a GCD lock. That's annoying.
Yeah, it's a GCD.
That's
loss.
fair. That's not that bad.
So
Well,
it should be pretty chill, honestly.
So if the debuffs last less time than the Unleashed Ember effect, basically just can't ever let them go beyond 10 seconds, because then that's when it explodes and does raid damage. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it honestly, if we have like, if in a perfect world, if we have 2 healer priests and a shadow priest there, like, you're laughing.
Yeah, you just
in a perfect world.
Sure.
Yep.
This fight is very from, I don't know if the mythic video looks any different though. Stuff that I watched. This fight is very well. No, it's also a very stacked, clumped fight. Like, you move, clump, stack. You move in the clump essentially. Like, you're a giant ball of people. That's why more of these fights now are talking about, people are always mad about it. Mostly came up in the Resto Shaman discussions, but there are fights like this where you're just kind of standing in a healing rain almost the entire encounter. So
Master Ree, what up?
Corey's gonna pop off.
Okay.
The count. So that's pretty simple. That shouldn't, if we wipe to that, then yeah, healers, oops, we done good.
And
Pyroblast is the shield. He gets a shield, and we can't interrupt him until we get the shield off of him. It's Maiden from Avatar. DPS the shield off, and then get the interrupt.
It's a really small shield on Heroic. What's it on Mythic?
It took that, again, 17 people. They were cutting it pretty close a couple times.
It's 185k on Mythic. That's pretty beefy. It's only 160 on... Well, the thing I wonder about the Fire Shield, we may or may not want to do like raid swap, or is it all range swap?
Point. The optimization.
Yeah, how much that's what I think of. Yeah, because on Heroic it's only effective. Yeah, so on Heroic it's like 100k damage and like a 500,000 dot, but on Mythic it's a one shot.
The Pyroblast cast is 7 seconds on Mythic.
Really long, yeah.
Well,
So,
that's
yeah.
7 seconds for 185,000 damage. So average that. How much DPS needs to be done in 7 seconds? How often is the fire shield? Because that might require cooldowns. If that's cooldown weaving.
No, you're
buff
definitely using
for it,
you're
actually.
definitely using cooldowns for a different mechanic in this fight.
Okay, that's what I'm just wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the fire shield is kind of just the thing that happens. It's you. I think it's gonna be like you just have to do it. It's not
The
like
whole
too
raid
bad.
thing called good.
Yeah.
I imagine it's a full raid swap. Like it's a, fire shield in 4, 3, 2, swap, fire shield.
We can try it once with just range swapping. And see.
Sure.
Like,
But the bosses aren't
if
going to
we
be that far
fucking die,
apart
so we-
anyway. Like, other than where the monk goes for the whirl, they're not going to be that far apart.
Mhm.
So, okay.
So it's 7 seconds to the cast fit. So we'll say you have to do 30k damage a second to
That's
get
a
with that
raid.
shield. That's a raid.
Yeah.
And that's not, we're all doing like 15k right now, sustained anyway, 15 to 16k. So
Yeah.
that's why,
That's
like,
also-
if it gets more comfortable, because what I'm worried about here is obviously this fight is very 2-target cleave to funnel more damage into the monk, right? Obviously that's part of what this is about. The residuals, however, on the mage will never push the mage lower than the monk. But the whole raid swapping to the fire shield, overly damaging the mage, I don't want that to ever, obviously, I don't want that to teeter-totter too much. So if this is not that much of a damage thing and it's just like hunter swap, then that's what we get to figure out. Because then that'll make sure the shield just pops and we go back to the main damage source and no one has to worry about it. It's just a little job thing. Yeah.
On the man burst rather than more thoughts and things.
Right, because if you don't want... Yeah, we don't want like all the demonology warlocks putting all their pets on there and the shield pops in 2 seconds and then they get raked by all their pets for the next 12 seconds and it pushes the mage further. Because we want to keep the mage higher to make sure that we can, like, for example, for me, I want to keep Crash Lightning active all the time for a single target gain. There's other, you want to make sure you can dot for damage fun a little bit, Shadow Priest wise or whatever. So yeah, we want to make sure they're always above. I don't know if that's ever really an issue in the video you watched, but
No.
just
it
little
wasn't
things
too
like
bad
that.
Of an issue.
Okay.
The monk had a pretty healthy lead most of the time.
Sure.
So, but I mean, yeah, if we all just wreck it, let us see.
All right, what are the team
last-
attacks?
Well, there's one more thing for the mage, which is the biggest thing for healers and tanks, is the mage doesn't melee; it just does a fireball attack
Right.
all the time, and it puts this the Rising Flames debuff on the tank, which causes when it ends a burnout, which is the big damage on the raid. So they were saying 4 to 5 stacks. The video I was watching was doing 4 to 5 stacks.
Yeah. How much
it
time
just-
is that?
That is a good question, which I did actually look up in time before the horde. I could look it up now.
How much time until it explodes?
Well, how often does the burnout happen?
Yeah.
Um,
What's the interval
from the
between
video-
burnouts? Yeah.
I think
I'm
it's like
guessing 40.
I think it's like it was every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Because you're only,
'Cause when I was-
are you tank
when I looked at-
swapping more often than the combo or not? That's what I'm curious for tanks.
Basically, like when you have to do taunt swap, you do your taunt swap.
Because the
Yeah, that's
debuff,
the thing, right?
the multi-sided strike debuff is 40
Oh,
seconds.
Okay. Oh, I think I think I remember in a video somewhere that they said that you have to like sometimes you have to taunt like the mage person before you go up in the air. type
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
It's like one of those things can happen.
Just a note to make sure the tanks are aware of that they might have to disconnect their taunts from just the tank debuff because
exactly.
one is more important than the other. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And
Okay.
we're going to be stacked the whole time, basically. So if we do end up going to 6, we can just SLT. Like, I'm not terribly worried about that.
Okay.
It's
just gonna
every
happen.
30 seconds too.
Yeah, it's just something that it's unavoidable. We can't do anything. We just got to heal.
So
Sure.
it'd be like, okay, here's wings, here's like ascendance if he plays ascendance, here's tree form, here's.
Dude, he's
like,
not taking out. He's not getting out.
I
Like,
know.
come on.
Well, yeah. So it's 66,000 damage in Mythic before the multiplier, which whatever the multiplier is. I would assume it's like a percentage-based thing because it's not going to just double, triple, or quadruple. That would just kill us. So
It was chunking.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
The video.
I would
It's
imagine you'd want to
definitely
keep
worth
it. You'd want to keep it around like half of your raid's health to maybe not
know-
more. So
You know how like Agrimar's burst damage whenever he would slam his sword
oh
on
yeah,
the group?
Yeah.
It kind of felt. It feels like that.
That's
where, like
okay.
everybody goes down to like a low enough, or the ads are exploding. Like it's just kind of
It's danger.
It's danger range.
Okay.
We'll talk about that in the healer meeting because that'll be the thing we're revolving.
There's
around.
there's also a lot of potentials for 1 to 2 minute personal cooldowns just to be woven on these. If this is the burst part of the fight where you're like, uh-oh, like just weave those. Just, you know, that's not a big deal.
The scariest part of the fight is coming up. It's part of the team attacks.
Yeah.
Right.
So team attack. Moving on to that, those are the individual abilities. It's pretty simple. They're gaining energy throughout the entire fight, and when they hit 30, 3 meteors are going to come flying on the ground, which are going to have that Temple of Sethralis mist around them that you can't hit them unless you're inside. So you gotta get all up on their shit, basically. Chi-Chi's song is what it's called officially, but it's the mist that you can't hit. We'll take a bit of damage from being in the mist, and that's fine because we'll DPS down the bombs, which will be doing DPS to us as a group. So we'll want to group up and murder these meteors, basically, which also have a beam coming out of an area. It doesn't have a face, but yeah. I thought the beams were much larger too. I thought this was going to be a total shit show, but the beams are only like 12 yards long. So it's just kind of a rotate around the meteor while DPS.
How many living bombs spawn?
3. In Mythic. I haven't seen a heroic video.
I think it was 3 in heroic as well.
Is it? Okay, so it's 3.
So the question is, at this point, then, are we going to do 3 groups of 3? Or are we going to do 2 groups?
Hell no,
or just everybody
on
they have different health pools.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I wrote this down here, and like, I think we need to just have everybody on 1 because it's going to alleviate so much damage if we can just kill 1 right away.
Just A, B, C. Okay.
Yeah, they're all going to be exploding, doing 40k fire damage, and the sooner we get that, now we're multiplying by 2 instead of multiplying by 3.
See, and I was trying to think of if we could do it as like a Kill Jaden type thing where you kill it, you know, those 2 ads that were exploding on Kill Jaden.
Yeah.
Basically, that is what I was thinking of trying to do. We have like one group on one group on the other, and then everybody kill the last one.
It just needs to be like these little things too, like priority damage stuff, and we're historically bad at this crap because again, anything that comes down to like differentiating DPS requirements is why I harp on the fire shield so much. Is that if it's going to be a ABC raid swap, then it's not a cross target them and then raid swap. It's a target A, then target B, and then target C.
You physically can't target B.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. Oh, they're all in different zones of mist.
Yeah, you physically cannot.
Okay.
Physically cannot target it.
Well, it makes it idiot-proof for us then. Sweet.
Yes.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna, which I think I wrote down. I think the ideal way this goes down is we have an officer or just, I think, yeah, I just wrote somebody in charge. Mark. But like as they spawn, everybody's like, cool, meteors, like they get 1 more DPS on the boss or 1 more rotation.
It'll be a DBM mark, I imagine.
Yeah, or DBM. Hopefully, you can do this. I'm sure that, which is they mark it based off health, and we go to X and go to Skull and what, like, because we need to just kill the lowest one off first. Because this is actually like the scary part of the fight for me. It's like I think living on Mythic will do a shit ton of damage.
People are talking about Lusty at this point to just get rid of them as quickly as possible.
Now, how do they only
doing their own shit too while this is happening? Like the mage and the monk are still doing rushing Jade, whatever it's called.
But
so
are
this part of the fight's crazy?
Do they only do their combined Pokemon team powers once each? Like,
so 30 energy, 60 energy, and 100 energy.
But that only happens once. Period.
Once. Yeah.
Oh, so is their energy based on damage they take then?
I think they just gain it throughout the fight.
Because if they get to 100 and they do their 100 ability and they just sit there and they never do an ability again, that's what I'm wondering, like pacing wise.
Yeah. Yep. Once they hit 100, they're done. They're dragons for the rest of the fight.
Fair enough.
So
okay.
eventually we'll have gear where they're 100 energy as they're like 12 and 15% each. So it's
okay.
The first kill, they were hitting. I think in the Fat Boss video, they hit that 50%? Phase and they were at like 50% life and shit. So.
Oh yikes! Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Big yikes. But this part of the phase is fire from the mist phase, whatever you want to call it, is actually kind of right.
30% power. All right.
And I haven't looked at the logs enough to see how often they're casting the explosion. It's just like, because it's 40,000 fire damage per meteor. If that's happening frequently, holy god, that's gonna be horrifying.
I hope they're off sync and not all at the exact same time. Because if it's all at the exact same time, like that's
right. Yeah, I don't know. Should have skipped the
damage.
heroic clear to look at this, but yeah, that's a big if, and this part of the fight seems pretty scary.
Okay.
We'll have to deal with it though. So the next part is the Iminar Bridge, where they fly away, and we get TP'd, and we have to make our way through the Rings of Hostility, which I don't know why they didn't just call it Ring of Peace, but whatever, it's fine. It seems pretty chill, honestly, on non-myth. You just make your way through and avoid the Phoenix strikes. That's it.
Yeah.
And
there'll be a wall on the other side that has a weak point in it. We have to damage that to get through it.
But we need also to pick up the orb, yeah.
You don't need to on heroic, but on mythic you'll have to.
No, heroic. Heroic it is.
Or no. Oh,
it's heroic forward is one barrier's weak point's attackable unless a player uses the force orb to make the other point attackable. Yeah. So you need a force orb from beyond there, yeah, from heroic forward.
On mythic, you have to pick one up on the way.
It seems pretty chill, honestly. I don't know. I haven't seen the Phoenix strikes enough to know how crazy they're gonna be. But
yeah, are they like flame strikes? Like, do we see them? They telegraphed, I suppose.
I think so, because it's just an AOE that's dodgeable.
Yeah, it's just like it's.
I mean, it's 66k on Mythic. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's dodgeable.
Yeah, so
I'm
like
assuming.
If you're in a bad spot and you get like bounced around, you'll die.
That makes sense. Yeah. Additionally, on Mythic, you have Nizal chasing your ass, so you can't just lollygag. You just gotta go. That's about it. I mean, he's there. He'll kill you. Just get up the way.
I saw people using like Warlock gates to like travel through the rings as well.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
So like everybody can move as
DK's Death's Advance?
They may be able to.
Yeah, you should be able to.
I would Demon Hunter's double jumping.
I would imagine we could easily.
Jumping, warriors were leaping over. I'm like, you could just kind of go through it, no problem.
Yeah, that's fine. Now, is it random which one is attackable? And they're kind of side by side, I guess. So
yeah. So from my understanding is like I think there'll be like we'll say that there's three spots that you can actually attack the wall. One of them will be damageable, and the other two won't be. And then if you want to make the other ones damageable, use the force orb on it.
Yeah, I mean,
well, you have to break both of them, right? So.
Nope.
Do you?
I think
you just have to get to them.
You just have to get to them. You have to break one only.
Oh, well, the combatants continually channel their abilities until players break down the barrier, interrupt them. And in Heroic, only one of the barrier's weak points is attackable. So you don't need to attack both.
Yeah. And then on Mythic, none of the barrier's weak points are attackable until players use a force orb.
I mean, yeah.
Path of Nizal also.
Yeah, so kind of
the big ram coming for the booty.
We don't know how fast that goes because nobody ever got there.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, the farthest log I saw for Mythic was 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
That's like the only. I don't want to like break into the Mythic stuff right off the bat, but it seems like that's like the only Mythic mechanic specifically is Nizal.
Yeah, the other ones are modified.
Yeah,
we can come back. I plan to swing back to that.
Yeah, sure.
So. At 100 energy, then it's a burn phase because they turn into the serpent and the phoenix and just start basically destroying us. The dragon has a frontal breath that leaves a trail that you can't stand in, which is kind of a space reducer. So you don't stand in front of the dragon and don't stand after when the dragon breathes in an area. And then the phoenix just does ramping damage. It's just a burn phase at that point.
But not a hero burn phase.
Apparently not. I didn't see anybody lusting at this phase.
It's just people were lusting to kill them.
Yeah.
The orbs. The living bombs.
And so
it starts at 21 on Mythic, 22,000 fire damage every 3 seconds, and ramps from there. So
it's enough.
I mean. It's not a holy god amount right away, but it's gonna get there,
right?
Along with all the other mechanics, but they don't do any other mechanics except for
there's no Xuen anymore.
No
Xuen.
No, yeah.
Xuen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No Xuen, no traps.
So when they go,
Duty
so the okay.
multi-sided strike.
Well, yeah, in heroic difficulty, the dragon triggers a multi-sided strike on all nearby enemies.
Yeah.
A lot of the multi-sided strike to me, outside of how far the range is on it, feels like it's just going to always affect melee and the tank. Is it ever going to hit ranged? Well, because again, this is just Blizzard obfuscating information. And granted, the dungeon roll isn't complete anyway, but their whole nearby, because nearby in player sense means 8 yards. But in raid nearby, it could mean 10, 15, 40, or the whole room. Yeah.
I believe it's the whole room because it was hitting it was hitting a druid in this one. And the druid
Okay.
was far away from the boss.
Well, that's on Mythic too, which going into.
Oh yeah, Mythic.
So it's just a burn phase at 100 energy. Going into the Mythic specific, the 100% energy phase doesn't actually change too much. It just hurts more. When they're just running around like crazy, the monk will trigger multi-sided strike on the entire group, the entire fight in Mythic. So everybody, the entire fight will have to, or most everybody.
That's 5 strikes instead of 4.
Will have to do
3,
it.
isn't it?
I think it's 3 on heroic, 5 on mythic.
If
Yeah, it's
4,
5 strikes on Mythic.
4
I watched another
heroic,
video,
it says.
Seem to be all the same color, but you may be looking. They're in different
5.
positions. So.
Okay, so different
But we
positions
can-
but same
yeah,
color.
But it will be the same color. So
Mm.
Okay.
everyone will just have to pay attention to their own.
Well, you just call the
Colors.
color. That's why you only call
Yeah.
color.
Somebody's calling the color. That makes sense instead of left and right and stuff.
I mean, you can fail 1 multi-sided strike, but you fail 2, you die.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
1 will
because
take you down to like 15% life.
yep, it's 131,000 physical damage on Mythic before armor. So yeah, it's 100k hit to your face, so 2 kills you.
I'm just gonna get bop. Fuck it.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm wondering too. Like, can you just immune and stand there? Like, if it lasts only a few seconds, like, do you nether walk and avoid it? Do you bop a healer?
What's the duration on Nether?
5 seconds.
Yeah, because Bop's 8. Bop would definitely last, so would block. 5
Goodbye.
might be cutting it close.
GG keyboard turners though.
Well, I don't know if we have any more of those specifically.
Please.
He's gone. Lars is gone.
Well, that's the monk's thing. The mage, his only difference is the pyroblast insta kills. If we don't burn it.
It does like 10 million damage.
It's a shit ton.
It says
You'll die.
it says inflicts 100 million fire damage and causes them to burn for an additional 6.5 million fire damage. But in mythic difficulty, the ability instantly kills the victim. What?
Why would they?
They're making sure that they die.
It probably
yeah,
has a
okay,
death
immunity.
touch effect on it to go through immunes, but also has so much damage that a damage reduction won't reduce it enough. They're doubling down on the whole, like, I'm gonna cloak it, whatever, yeah.
But that's it. That's the entire fight.
So spell ward's not gonna save you, that kind of crap. Yeah, that's so funny. That's just so much. That's so much numbers for no reason. Legion numbers.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
That wouldn't kill a tank though. In Legion,
They wouldn't, probably not.
10 million, they'd be like, whatever, dude.
Even the death touch wouldn't kill a tank in Legion. You immune the death touch effect. Yeah.
That's the whole fight. Yay.
Yeah. So all of their abilities will always continue to work at the 30 and the 60 that go away at the 100.
Yes.
Okay.
We should.
And we'll have to, heroic, we might not have to hero the bombs, but I'm wondering if we should just, we'll play it out and we'll feel for it. We might just not hero the heroic version, but we'll want to hero the mythic version of the.
We'll want to see it too, right? Like, but we're gonna, as of right now, we're assuming that we're lusting the bombs.
Right. I just don't know.
The meteors.
The power jump for heroic is not that big of a jump for us to feel, so I don't think the mechanic's going to be that strenuous, but on mythic obviously it will be. Okay. This actually is a crazy little look in the bulleted points section. Like, keep both combatants' health similar levels to avoid giving Mara too much damage. Magma Trap, Spirit of Xuen, Fire Shield, during Serene Showers, and Chiji's Song. Like, there's a lot of bullet points. Some bosses just have like 1 or 2. These ones have quite a bit. But it also feels like it's a bit of a spectacle boss, at least from the video that I watched, which is fun because it's the second boss, at least for Alliance. But it feels kind of spectacle bossy, where it's very flashy and has lots of moving parts. But like you said before, at least the damage stuff isn't too ridiculous. And as long as there's enough leeway on the multi-sided strike from the time you have to notice it, the time you have to react to it, you're not getting gibbed by lag. So, because that's the one, these kind of mechanics is just like the thing with Mother, like I'm safe, there are no beams here, but I'm dead. So this is gonna be the same thing, like I'm safe, I'm staring at this, look at this image, and I still died kind of thing. Hopefully that doesn't happen, because that's what this...
That was the fun part of Mother.
No!
Yeah, that's what this made me think of, so that's just what I'm...
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay, so for what we have in our little Jadefire thing right now, what can we clean up to post to everybody?
Settle on an actual stretch.
Probably my actual numbers. I went and looked up the Living Bomb, how much health when the kill target actually had.
Oh, just based on the PTR logs you've seen?
Yeah, I went and read some logs and just kind of got some raw numbers on what we would have to do on our kill target. So.
Now, do they all spawn with the 3 spawn with different health then too? No,
it's 2 of them had like 1 million, and then 1 of them had 216k. So I'm assuming we can only kill
1.
See, I'm going to assume we're going to do the everybody stack on 1, kill that one. Like that's my assumption.
Is it like a bait and switch where we have to find the right one to kill and then they all go away when we kill? Because 200k health we can kill. We're not killing 1 million health like on an ad.
No, it's 3 will kill us, 2 will just get us low. We just can't take 3, so we have to kill the 1.
Huh.
2 of them are going to explode no matter what it looks like.
You know, what's the spore boss? Botanist?
It was botanist, yeah. It's a botanist mechanic.
Yeah, okay. The living, what was it? The core?
Living
core?
Spores on botanist that you had to kill one of them.
The sunfire.
Well, you killed 1.
Oh, yeah, the sun orb, yeah.
You brought 1 to middle health, and then you let 1 not touched. So they cascaded.
Wait, so Daki, you were looking at logs. So for the fire mist, when you were looking at the meteors, was the explosion like a cast?
Yeah, it's 10 seconds.
Okay.
But let me check that.
Makes me think of Staghelm too. It makes me think of the Staghelm living bombs that he made back in Firelands.
10 seconds, we definitely want to kill 1 immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna check the other one's cast time.
Well, if it's a 10-second cast and 1 has 216k, in 10 seconds, like 4 DPS could kill that target pretty easily.
Daki, can you link that log real quick for me?
Okay.
Yeah, hold on. It's the middle one that he posted.
Because then we could just have like a healer and 4 people going to the low health.
Here's the thing, check the explosion damage. If you see it like spiking at different times, it's all at the exact same time. The explosion damage.
You're wondering if we can kill 2.
Well,
I think we'd be able to.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But then the mythic explosion is 40k for 1, so 2 is only 80,000 damage.
So right here,
where are you posting it at?
in Discord, this is the explosion damage is all at the exact same time, which means they're both casting that at the exact same time.
So where I just sent you that, the living bombs are spawning at 1 minute 27 or so. 28.
We'll just check the replay and see how many they kill.
Yeah, that's what I'm at. I'm at the replay. Oh no, sorry, it's 1 minute 30 seconds.
Okay.
They have 1.2 million health on 2 of them, and 200k on the other. No, it's shorter than 10 seconds, but it seems like they interrupted one of them. So I don't know if you can stop the kill target. What?
Oh, I don't even see the meteors on this replay for some.
I see them.
Because they sent people to different ones. I think the meteors have a shield, don't they?
No, they don't.
No.
No. For some reason, okay, these guys were damaging. They were trying to kill 2 of them. Oh, they don't just explode in a big explosion. It's just, you have to. So we are going to be killing them.
We have to kill all 3 is the way I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
you like shift as a group because the explosion happens every 10 seconds for infinity as long as they exist.
So one of them is low health no matter what.
Yeah,
and then
one
two
spawns with the other.
And then two. So we send like a few people to the low health one, I guess. And then
It sounds like.
And then you send everybody else to like 1.
Are you seeing that because it says here in the Fire and the Mist that mists prevents targeting into and out of the zone, but is that just for us? That's not for the bombs? Like if we're in a zone of mist with one bomb, the other two aren't hitting us?
They are still hitting us.
They're still hitting us? Okay.
Yes,
it's just smoke bomb, so Mr. taking AoE.
This is so silly. I'm sitting here in Stormsong Valley and Brennadum, right, for different backgrounds for the little segments here. And there's like a huge guild, I guess, forming up for like a big RP event or something. What is happening? This is cool, but there's a whole bunch of tall boys and Lightbringer and Kel'Thuzad, Stormrage, Sargeras.
How much health did the Corpuscles?
What is happening here?
So yeah, we send like.
Oh, I have no idea.
So basically, at this point, we send like
Is
a
this some
5-man
war mode
kill
going on?
squad, and then everybody else go to a different one.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then that 5-man kill squad will go to.
The other one's at 1.2. I mean, sending the entire raid group to a 216
is a waste of time.
That's a fucking waste of time.
Right.
Yeah. But over here, it's dead.
On-demand burst.
So they sent a Rep Paladin, an Enhancement Shaman, a Fury Warrior, and a Balance Druid.
No healer?
To the lower one?
Healer stayed out of it. Because
How
like
did he heal them?
the thing dies before they even explode.
Right, but the okay.
It dies within like 6 seconds of
I'm
them
like,
getting
yeah,
on
You
it.
want to know how much health Corpuscles have? 1 million. So
Okay.
with a mass having 3.5. So yeah, we should be able to just send a kill squad.
For the 200k versus the 2 million, you said was the big one?
No,
1.2.
1.3, 1.2, yeah. On the
Okay.
But basically, like what you could do is they send 4 DPS, and then I guess you send like your Holy Paladin with them.
I was gonna say, like, it's scary to not send a healer with them because it's not that they're gonna die from the explosion or
They're probably going to take 2, and then
other stuff happening going on.
and they can't be healed while they're running to the next one.
Oh.
The healers will be in the fog.
This is a multi-box? These are multi-boxers. What is happening?
Damn it, Bay!
We found some
We're doing
shit.
this stuff.
I know. I still have all this stuff open. I'm just flabbergasted at what's happening in front of me right now. What the hell?
Focus.
I wanna
We
keep
got to
doing
start all over. They ruined
Yeah,
it.
start all
start
over
all over.
again. The multi-boxer RP is it's so real. But it's a dead game though. No one plays World of Warcraft. What's going on?
it. I mean, listening to most people in the guild lately, you'd believe it.
So what else are we not sure about then here? Because obviously like the DPS part things are gonna be like, are we doing the hero and just doing it there for heroic? Now the problem is too, if we heroism, it's gonna hit everybody despite the LOS potential. That would suck, but I would assume it would not work that way. If we're all outside of the mist, because I don't know, there's no heroic heroism shenanigans on that. And then obviously the Pyroblast Shield. Full raid swap versus a relegated raid swap, because then I'm thinking of like pairing up responsibilities. If we have a certain team of people that are going to be the ones that break the fire shield, do we make that the same team that goes for the lower living bomb, just for simplicity, right? Like that team is the fire shield team and the low living bomb team. Stuff like that we can figure out, because the same type of DPS can do both things. Right, you don't want dots, you don't want ramp up, you want just damage. You want just flat damage that's gonna hit the target.
I think the fire shield thing just needs to happen all the time.
Sure, that's fine.
And like, people need to understand like their damage patterns. So like, if you're a warlock and you're playing affliction, don't hit the fire shield.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, if you're upfront like hard hitter, hit the fire shield.
Right. Okay.
It's all the day ofs too. I just want the day raiders to do the work for it.
Wow.
Hey man, if they're
What
gonna
else?
take off work, I'm gonna fucking.
Hey,
Or
Big Dumb
whatever.
Guild's gonna have 6 bosses dead before we even start raiding, so.
What can I cut out of this stuff that we have here?
Nothing. Make the people read it.
Okay. I'm fine with that too.
Oh, for your bullet points? Yeah.
Yeah, just to like throw at the.
It's gonna be real easy to make cuts on this bug. You can't do the fucking mini game. Get out of the team. Fucking easy.
Well, I just hope the multi-sided strike is working properly.
True.
Because those kind of mechanics always, at least now in the realm that we're, past Mother, hopefully they don't mess that up again.
Yeah,
These situationally oriented directional mechanics that do or don't exist. Yeah, okay. I mean, to figure out the whole Whirling Jade Storm thing, if there's any cheese for that, or if it's like just one person, or it needs multiple people to be nearby, or if
It's
pets
just
work,
one.
or
It's just one.
just one.
Got a melee or
One person needs to hit them.
Okay.
David, man, you got me so concerned about this Brennan fucking RP stuff, and I came to Brennan to see what the fuck's going on, and I'm war mode.
I'm war mode. I'm war mode.
What? Why am I not right next to you?
Because
right
you're
now? I'm looking
sharded,
at the
because
screen right
my shard has like all these alliance in it that are war mode. And you shard away from me. War mode starts starting people around 40 to 50 people in a zone.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see the RP.
That's why you can break war mode zones right now with raid groups. If you take a raid group of war mode into a zone, then you basically force everyone else of your faction out of that zone, so you have the whole zone to yourselves, essentially.
Oh, wow.
Well, Horde can do it. People have been talking about how like whole Horde raid groups just now control zones, and they'll just swipe around all the world quest areas and just kill Alliance. Well, I'm sure it's happening for the other way around too, but because the system doesn't let more than like that many people in a zone. Let's start.
Alliance would never do that.
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna post what we have. I'm not gonna do the unanswered questions yet because we're waiting on that.
Yeah, and I doubt this will be the only time we talk about this.
Unanswered questions are gonna be bullet for us more or less.
There's a lot more that happens on this fight than Champion of the Light, but I just wonder how much of it is going to be like a moment. We'll find that out next time. But that was Jadefire Masters and a huge, apparently multi-boxer plus other people background here. So that should be that. There's a lot more going on with this one than the Champion of the Light. And Grong is next.